Hey, this is Hernandez. This is just meant to be an overview, day one of the class. We're going to get into the details later. Don't you fret. But I just want you to get an idea of what the vibe is here. In terms of me, I'm kind of not from around here. I was raised in Utah. I went to school here, but right after high school, I noped right out to New York, Boston, and New Jersey, where I stayed for 17 years. So I started my teaching career there. So if I'm weird, being sort of kind of not from around here, but from around here is part of the reason for the weirdness. But the most important thing you need to know about me is I really care. I care about this class. I care about you. Um, your progress in this class and your success in this class means a lot to me. So please don't hesitate to ask for my help. I really will help you. And even if it doesn't seem like it in the moment and you're overwhelmed and frustrated, just know that it's all for your success, and all that I do, even the assignments and the due dates, all that I do is to help you in the end. This class is intense, partly because Weber State is intense about it, and partly because I'm a lot. But intensity is my love language. Again, I care about you, I care about this class, and I know how to get you there. And that can come across as pretty intense sometimes. So just interpret the intensity as me giving a crap about you, because that is the truth. Just know that you really do need to read the entire syllabus for this class. Syllabus is a fancy word for disclosure. You may have heard that before. But the syllabus for this class is ginormous. It's definitely bigger than other CE classes that you may have taken previously. You have to know the syllabus. The policy of this class are very serious, because Weber State is very serious about that, and we'll get into the details of why in a second. But just know that Weber State requires a quiz on the syllabus, and it is graded. So make sure you've read the syllabus. We will go into it in detail, but you've got to read the syllabus today and have a working understanding of it by the time you come to next class. Just know that this class is like a foundational class, meaning that this class is a precursor to all other big like general college classes. It teaches you stuff that the teachers of your other college classes are going to expect that you know. So for that reason, this class isn't just an English class. It teaches you just to like how to be a complete person and a complete professional, both in the working world and in the college world and just in the human world. So there's a lot to benefit from this class, more than just being able to write a good paper, but you will be able to write a good paper. That I can promise you. A few other promises, and for those of you who don't know me yet and have never met me, I'm somebody who means what I say and I say what I mean. That's just the bottom line. And so when I make a promise, you'll find out later that I really will follow through on that. Or if you already know me, you already know that's the truth. So the first promise is that this class is worth it. Students report that it's worth the hard work. You get English all the way over with for college, and at the end of 1010 and then 2010 or 2015, second semester of this year, you have 7 college credits to show for it. You don't have to take an English class again, but also you're really good at stuff. So it's worth it, I promise. Just know that I've taught this class for a long time, and I'm not trying to brag. It's just the truth. My track record for this class is like excellent. It just is what it is. People get A's in this class. People learn a lot from this class. Just know that I've got this. I've done it for a long time, and I know what I'm doing. So just, again, trust the process. One thing to think about is that current you might feel overwhelmed and frustrated by this class, but just know that the you who graduates from 1010 in January, that's the you I work for. And the you at the end of 2015 in May, that's the you I have in mind when I'm putting all of this work out for you. Because future you is going to be really glad that you took this class, and that future you is who I work for. Current you, probably going to be mad sometimes. That's just the truth. One thing I'm really good at it is I make sure that you know stuff in advance. Canvas will give you all the information. Literally every single day of this class is already planned out. I can give you a month view, a term view, a semester view, a week view, and the full day view. So just know that everything's planned out. If you're ever surprised by a due date or a policy in this class, chances are you didn't look at the stuff that I offered to you in terms of no surprises, no guesswork, calendars, looking ahead, all that good stuff. This class, I have to play a long game with this class, and I happen to be great at it, right? So a long game means that you might get an assignment in September that doesn't really pay off, or you don't understand the purpose of that assignment until December. right? Or sometimes I'll give you an assignment in September that is meant to pay off all the way in 2015 in March, right? So just know that everything has a purpose. It's probably going to feel like busy work in the moment, but none of it's busy work. It all has a purpose. If you take the assignment seriously, you'll be trusting that process, and the process leads to a really great end result. So just trust everything's on purpose. Just know that I work for Weber State when I teach this class, not Viewmont High School. Weber State has a lot of rules for this class because it's a core college class. It is a serious class and they don't mess around with it. The policies are pretty heavy and pretty strict. And I do my best to soften those policies for you, but I have to still ethically adhere to the requirements of the university because your college credit has to mean something. You know what I mean? So if there's something you don't like about this class, chances are I've probably already complained about it or probably already mitigated it for you in some way. So just trust that I'm aware, I'm trying to help, but some things I can't take away, right? The next thing is I'm going to tell you the truth about this class. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I am not going to be like toxic positivity lady. I'm going to tell you the truth. Chances are you will live the best case scenario, and I love that for you. But a few of you out there are going to live the worst case scenario, and I'm here for you. That's all I can say. You will get frustrated in this class, even if you have been awesome, especially if you have been awesome in your English classes in the past. You're going to find this class frustrating because you will think that you have learned all you need to know about the English language arts. And then you'll get in this class and realize that you don't know anything. And that's a frustrating feeling. This class is meant for you to gain skills really, really quickly, and that's uncomfortable sometimes. It's natural. So just lean in to the fact that it is going to be frustrating and decide now what you're going to do when you do reach frustration point, and how you are going to rise above with a growth mindset and move through that. Just know again that every little tiny assignment in this class is a small piece of a very large puzzle that only I can see the full picture of because I've done this before. So it's really hard for students to see the forest through the trees because you haven't done this before. I have the full picture, the full puzzle, and I might be asking you to do 1 or 2 pieces per week, but just know they do have a specific place to fit in the full picture. Just trust. And the most important thing you can do to trust the process is to never get behind in the process. I know that sounds dramatic. Like, what do you mean never turn in a late assignment? That's literally what I mean. So just know that you shouldn't get behind in this class. We're going to talk about the specific reasons why, but mostly the reasons why is that there are late penalties, and also the assignments are meant to build on each other, and every assignment builds to the next assignment. So if you're behind on the previous assignment, you'll be behind on all the assignments until you catch up, and that can be very unpleasant for people. So just make a commitment now that you're never going to get behind. You're always going to turn stuff in on time. And if you take this class bit by bit, bite by bite, you're going to eat that whole entire whale, and it's going to be great, right? So just, how do you eat a whale? 1 bite at a time. I'll help you pace those out really well. Time management in this class is your top priority. You don't have to be good at English. You have to be good at time management. And by time management, I mean deciding if you have a certain number of hours in the day, how are you going to use those hours, and how to prioritize how you use those hours, and how to have self-control in order to use those 30 minutes, not to scroll on TikTok, but use those 30 minutes to get a little bit ahead in some of your classwork, right? And then also time management means looking ahead, not just for the day, for the week, but for the month and for the term, and understanding how you can complete this like succession of work in an appropriate amount of time, even when you have hurdles or obstacles along the way. Just know I'm here for you. I will give you everything you need to be successful. There will be rubrics, there will be outlines, there will be explanations, there will be graphic organizers. Even if you aren't good at English, I am, and I will help you. And I will always be open to talking through things with you. So even if you made some mistakes and the fact that you're frustrated in this class is totally your fault, I'll talk to you through it. I'll help you through it. We can come up with a plan together. There have been everything from like emotional breakdowns for this class to people who have zero problem with this class. I've seen everything from the worst to the absolute top tier best students that I've ever come across have been in this class. and I will help you through it. I've seen everything. Just know that sometimes you'll come and ask me a question and I won't give you the answer. And it's not because I'm trying to be salty or ridiculous. It's because the process of finding that answer is part of your learning goals. And I'm not going to take that away from you. So don't be mad if I don't give you the answer right away. I am helping. Keep in mind that we are going to get real specific about these policies going forward. But again, I just want to give you the overview and sort of kind of answer frequently asked questions about this class. The first one is I would be flabbergasted if you have not heard about this class. But in case you haven't heard about this class, is it difficult? Yes. That's a hard yes, right? The thing that students say is that the workload is what's difficult. The amount of work is what makes it difficult, but the actual work itself isn't that complex. You just kind of got to push through the amount of work. And a lot of students will ask, like, well, I've had other CE classes and they've been kind of breezy. Like, why is this different? The reason is that this is a core class with a department at any university. The English department is going to be the most uptight. Sorry about that. So this is a core class for any major on the planet, and they do not mess around with it, mostly because the stuff you learn in this class is how you are successful in other classes. So they can't, you can't botch the process of this specific class, and they watch the class and they're very careful and they get real serious about it. So yes, it's a difficult class. It's not like your other CE classes, if your other CE classes have been easy. Am I strict as a teacher? Most of my CE students don't find me strict unless they have a hard time separating Weber State's rules from me as a person. And if you want to blame me for Weber State's rules, go right ahead. I've seen the whole gamut of it. But just remember that, like, me as a human being isn't loving enforcing these rules. It's just part of my job. And if you can make that separation, you're probably going to love my class. You're probably going to love me as a teacher. That's just the bottom line. There's some people who blame me for the policies of the class, and I can't control that. That's your business. It's just not accurate. Anyway, can I get an A in this class? Yes, you can get an A in this class. The people who get an A in this class are people who know how to manage their time. Even if you think you're good at time management, you got to get better at it. If you think you're bad at time management, you got to get better at it today, and you got to make an actual specific plan to get better at it day by day. I will tell you that, again, I'm not trying to brag, but my scores are always the highest in this class because I break down the little pieces to the big assignments in a way that I double check your work before you even do the big assignment. So a lot of kids can get A's in this class, even if they're not good at English, right? So last year, this is a real number. I know it looks like a pretend round number that I made up, but this is the actual calculation. 70% of my students last year got a full A in this class. I'm not talking an A minus. And I've only ever had one student not get college credit for this class. So my track record is beautiful, and I would like to not ruin that. So thank you. So keep in mind that the kids who do well in this class are not the smartest kids. The smartest kids struggle because they've never had to try before, and now they have to try, and that is uncomfy. But kids who are rocking like an 18 on the English section of the ACT, those are the people who do really well in this class because they know how to work hard for their grades. So it's the kids who know how to manage their time that do well. Even if you are literally the worst writer ever, I can fix that. It's kind of my job. But if you struggle with time management, it's going to be unpleasant until you gain those skills. Keep in mind, we're going to get into the details of this, but I offer a grade swap. So even if your term one grade is bad, if you get a better grade during term two, I switch your term one grade to that better grade. So even if you suck it up in term one and you really don't do well and you get some low scores, there's still hope for you in terms of your GPA. So do not panic, friends. We'll get more into those details later. What if I have struggled in English in the past? I would rather have somebody who has struggled in English in the past than somebody who's just been so good at English and they've never had to try and never had to think about it. I would rather have somebody who struggled in the past because they know how to work hard. If you've never struggled in English in the past, this is going to be a weird experience for you because you probably haven't had to try. I was that kid, so I understand you. But the people who struggled in English in the past, guess who has never struggled a day in their life in English? Me. Allow me to help you with that part, and you just focus on trusting the process, turning your assignments in on time, and doing the best that you can step by step. And gradually, you will see your English skills increase like magic, but it's not magic. It's just me. Anyway, is there a lot of homework in this class? Yes. So the syllabus says it, Weber State says it, and we will say it now. For every class period that you spend in this class, expect 2 to 3 hours of homework outside of class. And that is not an exaggeration. That is the truth, right? So if you have 2 B days, CE days in the week, expect 4 to 6 hours of homework throughout the week. If you have 3 B days in that week, expect 6 to 9 hours of homework throughout the week. That is not an exaggeration. My recommendation to you is to find a time in your week and in your day to work on English work. I suggest you get in the directed research class that happens in the library. It's an awesome class that you can take if you have advanced classes, and it's literally just a time to work on your work. I would also suggest that you TA for a teacher and make a deal with them that you work from English class when you're in your TA time. Scheduling a time to work outside of your house on this class is going to be your best bet in terms of success. What type of English class is this? So, some English classes are like, we read a novel and then we talk about it together. This is not that class. We don't read novels in this class. We read like scholarly, like smart people, nonfiction stuff. And then we synthesize it and we analyze it and we research it. So it's like a very technical Englishy type of class. They're still reading, but it's not like novel reading. It's like academic type reading stuff. I'm really busy. Am I going to have time for this class? If you have good time management skills, you will figure this class out. The people who do the best in this class are people who are already busy, because the people who are already busy have probably been busy since they were 5 years old and know how to manage their time. The people who struggle the most in this class are the people who have literally 2 classes on their course schedule and all of the rest is home release because they think they have all the time in the world. The people who do the best in this class are my busiest students. Because they just know how to manage their time. So again, it's about time management. It's not about busyness. It's about time management. I've had the least busy students have the worst time management. So I have had SBO president, several captains of the drill team. Cheerleading takes so much time. I've had several cheerleaders in my class. I've had tons and tons of people who have part-time jobs, who are in band, who are in choir, who are in the play. People who take this class are involved and they get A's. So it's about the time management. It's not about busyness. I heard that you aren't allowed to turn anything late in this class. Is that true? The reason you probably heard about that is because it's a terrible idea to turn things in late. Late work is accepted in this class, but it's with so many caveats that it's just the worst. So still decide to not turn anything in late. There are major caveats. We will talk way more about that later. Super important info that you just have to know, like today. The first thing is that we will stay on your Viewmont High School Davis School District Canvas page until you hear differently from me. We all eventually will need to move to the Weber State Canvas page, but until we all can move together and we are all registered, we are staying on the Davis School District Canvas page for about a week and a half to 2 weeks. More info on that later. The things that you have to bring to next class period and to every class period, no exceptions, are a fully charged and working laptop. No charging in class. We got to get to work. We got to make it happen. Pen and pencil, we will use every minute of class time in this class, and we're not going to waste a moment. So you need pen and pencil, charged laptop. You will need, and I'm serious about this, 6 highlighters of different colors. 6 highlighters of different colors. Don't test me. You need the highlighters. I'll tell you why later. You'll need like a comically large binder, like a binder that's so big that it's stupid. That's how big the binder needs to be. I'll tell you why in a second, but you also need to bring the textbook for this class, which isn't too terrible. I will give you a copy of the textbook, plus you'll have an online copy. You just need to bring that every day to class. We work on it in class and outside of class. I murder trees because I care. Let me elaborate. So I will give you tons and tons of handouts, not because I love to kill trees, but because when you are writing I have found that students need the resources like the outlines and the rubrics and the instructions for the assignment. You don't want to be switching screens. You want them on paper in front of you like a beautiful informational rainbow. And for that reason, I put everything on paper, but I do murder tons of trees. And you, again, will need a comically large binder to keep all of these handouts. There will be many, and you literally have to keep everything that I give you. I will give you a paper, and like 2 months later, I'll be like, pull this paper out. And you, with your beautiful comically large binder, are going to be like, no problem. Right? Right. Um, Prerequisites for this class. If you do not meet these prerequisites, it's going to be a problem. So let's talk about it. You have to have at least a 17 on the English and reading sections of the ACT. If you don't have that, you have to talk to me today, yesterday, if possible. If you don't have that, there is one more thing that you can do, but it'll take a conversation. So come talk to me today. You won't be able to register for the class if you don't have those scores. You must complete this 1010 class with a C or higher, that's a 73% or higher, in order to even enroll in the 2010 class. If you don't pass it with a C or higher, you have to retake it in college. So you won't be able to sign up for the next English class until you pass this with a C. You have to register for this class at Weber State University. Yesterday is preferable, but today is late, but better than never, right? So you have to register at Weber State, and we all have to be registered in order for all of us to move to the Weber State Canvas page. And we have to do that as soon as possible because Weber State gets real butthurt when we don't. They want to see what you're doing. They're very nosy. It's a whole thing, right? I need you to register today. This doesn't mean that everybody register except for that one kid who thinks it was just a light suggestion, and so we all wait another week for him. No, everybody register today, please, and thank you so much. I communicate via Remind. That's the phone app that you're probably super annoyed that you have to download, but you're going to really rely on those Remind texts, and you're going to love them, and you're going to learn to love it. You can also message me via Remind. Just know that there will be times when you think of me as the face of the actual devil, right? But just know that every assignment that I give you and every timeline that I give you is because I care and because you and I together are on the same team in order to help you jump through the hoops necessary for you to get those 7 college credits from Weber State. You and I are on the same team. We're not against each other. You can think that we're against each other. I mean, that's your business. It would be inaccurate, but it is your business. It's your business, right? If you have an IEP or a 504, I need to talk to you today. There's paperwork that I have for you. If you don't know what an IEP or a 504 is, ignore this because it probably doesn't pertain to you. I really want to help you, but I can't read minds. So you have to communicate. And if you're not comfortable communicating with a teacher, push through it and communicate with me anyway. You can come to SRC. Please use SRC on A days. Talk to me during class. We can even talk privately in my office if you'd like. And we can talk after school till 3 p.m. I message really quickly through the Remind app. You can email me on either my DSD email or my Canvas emails. I get attention in the class period. Instead of being like, hey, can everyone stop talking? I say, when the wind doesn't blow, and then the class says Vikings row. And that's how you signify to me that you're going to be quiet and listen to me talk now. It's simple, just for your information. Again, we're going to go over the details of this syllabus in way more depth, but for now, that was just an overview for you. Thank you for listening.